Hello everyone, Zia Hussain this side. So today hand we are dealing with a topic called as mechanism of hormone action. Okay, so let's get started. Here, hormones are producing their effects on target tissues by binding to specific protein called as hormone receptors. Okay, so hormones are basically producing their effect on the target tissue by binding to the specific protein which are present on the target tissues only. Okay, which are present on the target tissues only. The hormone receptor which are present on the cell membrane of the target cell, the hormone receptor which are present on the cell membrane on the target cell are called as membrane bound receptors. Okay, so there are two types of receptors. The first will be present on the cell membrane, that will be called as membrane bound receptor. And the next receptor, the second type, the receptor which are present inside the target cell are called as intracellular receptor. And majority of the time, these are nuclear receptors. Okay, deal with, which means they are present in the nuclear membrane or the nuclear envelope. So binding of a hormone to receptor leads to the formation of a hormone receptor complex. Okay, it is the hormone receptor complex. Binding of receptor along with its hormone is forming a hormone receptor complex. We'll be dealing the figure A and the B. And each receptor is specific to one hormone only. Okay, each receptor is binding only to with the one hormone, and hence the receptors are very specific. Now, the hormone receptor complex formation leads to certain biochemical changes. Obviously, there will be certain biochemical changes if the hormone is coming and the hormone is binding with its specific receptor. Now, it will be leading to the change in the target tissue. How come? The target tissue metabolism and hence the physiological functions are regulated by the hormone. So, on the basis of their chemical nature, the hormones are divided into different groups. For example, they may be peptide, polypeptide, or the protein hormone. Now, what is the difference between this peptide, polypeptide, and the protein? So, basically, if there are less than 10 amino acid, I may be wrong, but still, like I've heard it in my college days, if there are less than 10 amino acids arranged in a linear fashion, that will be called as a peptide. Okay, if there are less than 50 amino acid, I'll be calling them as polypeptide. And if they are more than the 50 amino acid, then only I'll be calling it as a protein hormone. For example, insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormone, hypothalamic hormone, and etc. 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 The second type is called as steroids. Okay, these are basically the hormones which are nuclear hormones, or they have their receptors situated on the nuclear membrane. Example is cortisol, testosterone, estradiol, progesterone, and estrogen. The third one is called as iodothyronins. That is a thyroid hormone, that is triiodothyronin and tetraiodothyronin, which is also called as thyroxine. Okay. The last but not the least one is called as amino acid derivatives, which means they are not exactly the proteins right now, but still they have been derived from the precursor amino acid. Example is catecholamines. The example is epinephrine here. Okay. Now, as we have discussed earlier that the hormones are of two types. First, they are which are interacting with the cell membrane, or they are called as a membrane bound receptors. And the second, which are interacting with the intracellular receptors, specifically the nuclear hormones. So the first one, the hormones which are interacting with the membrane bound receptors normally do not enter the target cell. They do not enter the target cell, but still they do generate a secondary messenger. For example, here that is called a cyclic AMP. Okay, it may be cyclic AMP, or it may be inositol triphosphate. It may be inositol triphosphate. It may be diacyl glycerol. Okay, it may be diacyl glycerol, or simply it may be calcium, the divalent calcium ion. Okay, deal with, which will be, which in turn regulate the cellular metabolism. The diagram will be dealing. And the second type of the hormone is the hormones which interact with intercellular receptor, specifically the steroid hormones or iodothyronins. They mostly regulate the gene expression. Okay, they mostly regulate the gene expression or the chromosome function by the interaction of hormone receptor complex HRC. Okay, deal with, with the genome, and I'll be calling it as central dogma. I'll be calling it as central dogma. Why? Because somehow they are interacting with the genome, and the DNA will be forming the RNA, or specifically the mRNA, with the help of a phenomena called as transcription, and then the formation of the protein will take place with the help of the RNA, that will be called as translation. So they are somehow dealing with the central dogma, and they are giving the cumulative biochemical action which results in the physiological and the developmental effect. Okay, deal with. So at the end of the day, both the hormones are one way or the other acting on the DNA to produce its specific mRNA, which will be in turn producing a specific protein. Okay, deal with. Now dealing with the diagrams. This is the FSH and this is its receptor, which is called as FHRC, the hormone receptor complex. So somehow the receptor has came here, and the hormone is not entering. The hormone has came here, and the hormone is not entering in the cell. Rather, it's just interacting with the receptor. Then we are observing here that the response 1 has been taken place. Correct? And this response 1 will be responsible for the formation of the secondary messenger. Maybe it may be cyclic AMP or the calcium or inositol triphosphate or glycerol, whatever it may be. Then the secondary messenger will be further going for the formation of a biochemical response, and at the end of the day, it will be dealing with the physiological response, that is ovarian growth. Why? Because we are basically here dealing with the ovarian cell membrane. Okay, this is the first type in which the hormone is not entering in the cell. And in the second case, here we are having the second case in which we are observing the nuclear receptor. So here the example is the hormone is called as estrogen. The hormone, this is basically an steroid hormone, and the steroid hormones are also made up of lipid, correct? And the cell membranes are also made up of lipids. So ultimately, this steroid hormone will be easily entering in the cell. And again, they'll be entering in the nuclear membrane as well, because nuclear membrane is also made up of lipid. And this hormone has reached here, making the hormone receptor complex. Then this will be functioning on the DNA, or rather, I'll be calling it as genome, functioning on the genome, in the formation of the mRNA, and at the end of the day, dealing with the protein. That is what we call as the central dogma. And after the formation of the protein, here we will be observing that the physiological response. Here we will be observing the physiological responses, that the tissue growth and the differentiation. Hopefully, this lecture has been beneficial for you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much for your so much support. If you do have any kind of questions, you can ask me there in the comment section. Thank you.